Got another topic for you all today. I wanted to talk about security. Security in a truck camper, or just security in general, security while traveling. Doesn't really matter what vehicle you have. I wanted to talk a little bit about the trip, in that I wanted to share with you just one little experience that happened to me. Not a big deal. I just kind of wanted to talk about my attitude about security, and just what do I think, what are some of my fears about things. I just thought I wanted to share all of that with you here today. So I'm just going to share probably the one little thing, the one little experience that happened to me, and then I'll just kind of go into talking about other stuff and pertaining to security. So when I was up at the Grand Canyon here on the second night, I boondocked 2 nights at the Grand Canyon. The second night was actually just right outside of the gate as you leave the gate, the fence, and you make a hard right and you go back into the national forest. I think it's the Kaibab National Forest. There's back roads that stagger and they go off in many different directions. There's just unlimited areas out there to go boondocking, and it works out great because when you go to the Grand Canyon, you buy a 7-day pass. It is for about $30, so you can just boondock outside the park and return for 7 days. Yeah, pretty awesome situation. So the second night, I went about a quarter of a mile off the main road. I found a really nice spot, and I did shoot a video when I was at the Grand Canyon. That was one of the spots where I was at that I shot the video. And so I spent the night. It was a nice place. There was nobody there. It was all by myself. And I arrived there probably around, I think, about 5 o'clock, made dinner and just kind of got settled in. And I saw a few cars that were going by on the road that I came in on, and, a few cars going by here and there. And so, it started to get darker and the sun went down, and about 8 o'clock at night, there was still some traffic coming in off that road. Probably people looking for a place to spend the night. And about 9:30 rolls around, and I saw there was a car that came in, and then it turned around, and then it went back about 1,000 feet from where my camper was, and the engine shut off. The headlights shut off. I thought, okay, all right on. I got neighbors over here. And so the next thing I see a person with a flashlight or something, and they're kind of like walking around a little bit. And I couldn't get a visual on the person or anything. I just saw a flashlight, and then the flashlight would go off. And then 5 minutes later, I saw a light again. And it just something about it didn't seem right. It just seemed really odd. There was no noise being made. It was just really quiet. And then I heard the engine start up, and then the car took off. And then 20 minutes later, I saw it must have been the same car. The car returned, or it returned back to the spot. And then I saw some fidgeting around, some people coming out with a flashlight and then turning it on, turning it off, and it was a little bit alarming to me. It was strange, and then I was in my sleeping bag, going to sleep, and so I finally opened the side door, and I says, hey, can I help you guys out? Can I help you find something? And I was just getting a little bit nerve-wracked because it just seemed odd about all of these things going on. Okay, and then after I said that, I got no response at all from anybody. Nobody said, "Hey, I'm doing okay. We're just looking for a place to crash for the night." Nothing. I heard nothing. Okay, and so I'm at this point I'm kind of going, what kind of BS is this going on here? Is this somebody just playing with me, or is it something serious? Is it something else that I need to be concerned about? Okay, so fast forward, nothing happened. I think the following day, they must have spent the night there. The following day, I heard the car start up really early in the morning, and then they took off. So yeah, that was just kind of an interesting little episode that can happen when you are out camping in the national forest, anywhere on public land. I mean, I was actually in the forest, so it wasn't like it was I could see for miles or anything. And at night, things are different. At night, when you're in the forest camping, you can't see anything. You should have some pretty good flashlights or whatever. So I just wanted, so the moral of the story was, well, nothing happened, but this is just one type of a situation that you can encounter when you're out there by yourself. And these are the weird little type of situations where you're not really sure kind of what's going on. You can't see very well. It's night, it's dark, and you can kind of maybe get a little bit irritated. Maybe the hair in the back of your neck might stand up a little bit on some of these kind of situations. So I just wanted to talk a little. So I'm going to go into talking about kind of my whole thing with security and to me, guys, the worst possible thing, the worst possible fear that I have with traveling and living in the camper and stuff is a takeover. It's a takeover situation. What is it? What is a takeover situation? A takeover situation is where somebody gets this close or what have you to me, and they use force by whatever means, firearms, what have you, and they say, please get out of your vehicle and go take a hike before I shoot you or whatever. I'm taking your rig, I'm taking your truck and camper. I'm taking it from you, right? That guys is the worst possible thing that I never ever want to have. I never ever want to have to deal with. Most of the time, things are pretty safe. And as far as everything else, guys, I'm not concerned. I'm just not concerned about anything else. Like I said, that would just be the greatest worst disaster for me that could possibly happen. And am I prepared to deal with that? Yes, I am prepared to deal with that. I carry protection with me to deal with that situation, because I know that is the worst one, and I am prepared for it. I am prepared to deal with it, and I'm not going to let somebody take it. I'm not going to let it be easy for somebody else. They're going to have to really work to try to take away something from me. That's my values. That's my personal belief system with stuff is this isn't going to be an easy thing, for anybody to do anything. So yeah, it's that is the worst thing, I really everybody has a different take on security, and I know that there's some people that. And you can really get creative with a lot of things. You can use your imagination. And that's what a lot of people do. They come up with a lot of things. That some people have air horns, and they'll do. They could use that to distract a person, or just basically what you want to do is send the message that I am not somebody that you want to deal with. I am not somebody that you want to pick a battle with. You want to pick a fight with. I am your worst nightmare, and that is the message that you want to send out in those situations. Okay, and like I said, though, to me, those are the worst possible situation, and so what else can I say about security? I know that okay, I'll just talk about truck campers and security. Truck campers, a lot of people are always saying, well, I don't like truck campers because I can't enter from the coach into the driver's seat and drive away from the scene. I have never, that isn't a concern for me. For number one, if it gets down, like I said, if it gets down to it, it isn't going to happen. If I'm inside the camper, that isn't going to happen. They're just simply not going to get that far, or there's going to be a lot of firepower exchanged, and it's just not going to enter into that state. And for me, I have in my camper, I've got a skylight that I can crawl out of, and I've got a couple of places that I can escape from the camper, and that's very, very important. So you know, for not only fire, but, you know, in a situation where, you know, you may be able to escape. You know, that the truck camper definitely can help with that. But all the other stuff, yeah, it is nice to be able to drive away from the scene. So, you know, if you're in like a truck camper or a fifth wheel or a travel trailer, you know, you really need to, you should have a plan together as to what you are going to do in that situation. How are you going to defend yourself? What is your plan? And you really should have one. And I really can't emphasize that enough. And like I said, how do you come up with this plan? Well, you use your imagination and you use your creativity based upon your values and what you want to do, what you want to do about it. Another thing that I want to talk about too is vehicle theft. Okay, I think it's a very important or very good thing to have a way to deactivate your ignition system, your ignition source on your any vehicle whatever vehicle that you have a way to deactivate that, either making the fuel pump where it's inoperative, or be able to disconnect the ground, so simply nobody can steal your vehicle. Very important. I think that would probably be also one of the very worst things to do. And I do have that on my truck. I have a method where I can make the truck where it will not start. And of course, I'm not going to give that information away. But I am prepared for that, and that's another thing that I really highly encourage all of you to do, is to come up with a plan, is to make it so that it's very difficult to start your vehicle, to move your vehicle. Come up with the game plan for that as well. So security, always being aware of your surroundings and always being in tune with your intuition, being in tune with your gut, because always go with that. And if you don't feel comfortable, if something doesn't feel right, if something is a red flag, really go on that intuition. And you know, another thing that I always have on me, I have a knife. I carry a knife on me all the time. And this knife, yes, it can be used as a weapon if I needed it to in a life or death situation where I needed to defend myself, okay, against a person or an animal. An attack, a cougar attack, a bear attack. This stuff happens all the time, guys. You know, people go out, they go on a hike, and they're not prepared, and the next thing they know, they got a cougar lunging on them, and you know, trying to take them out. And so, you know, that's where having your pocket knife or having your knife, you can go right at the mouth and take it, you know, and take it out. So this is another really I think an important thing to always carry around, everyday carry. A knife, and so forth. That's all I have, guys. That's all I have on this video. Use your creativity, use your imagination, but really have a plan. I think it's very important how you're going to deal with these situations, because to think that it won't happen, or it could happen, or it won't happen, or, you know, I think that is very foolish thinking. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next video. Take care. And please comment below if you have some other suggestions. We all would like to hear about them.